Inspired, I think it was more revenge.
Tell us.
I mean, I wrote the song. I was with a music publishing company in the 60s, kind of trying to be a songwriter, not even a singer particularly, but I was quite happy to write them songs, and they would give these songs to different artists. That was the idea anyway. Nothing ever came of it. I think they got like 3 placed. And one of the things they gave me was this French song, and they said, do an English lyric to this. So I wrote this god-awful lyric. Even a fool learns to love, it was called. It was dreadful. God, it's so awful. Really embarrassingly bad. And I sang the lyric to the actual record that they sent me from France. So you hear the actual, there's a tape of me, you can hear, I've seen it on the internet, I mean, it's available. You hear the French song in the background, you hear me singing my lyric over the top of it. It's very funny.
They're funny man, don't let them down. Oh, I dance and prance and be their clown at time. A happy time that even a fool learns to love.
Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew.
The next time I heard it, it was My Way by Frank Sinatra. What happened to my lyric? Oh, I'm sorry, but it wasn't very good, so we got Paul Anka to do it. So I was really pissed off. I thought, oh, it should have been my song, you know? So I thought, okay, I'll write my own version. So it's My Way on Mars.
Can you actually recall something from the sessions when you recorded Live from Mars? This was in 1971 or something.
Yeah, it was Hunky Dory, wasn't it? That was on. Those sessions seemed to me to be awfully... I know there were musicians on the album that I hadn't really worked with before, so I felt a little bit insecure about whether it was going to come out sounding the way I wanted it to. That's the only thing I remember. But it turned out okay, didn't it? Was it Wakeman on piano?
One funny thing is that the song wasn't released as a single until summer 1973, and by then you had released both Ziggy Stardust and Aladdin Sane. So, how come?
You know better than me. I don't know.
You know? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Was it really?
Yeah.
Did it do anything? I thought Mick Rock had some really quite radical ideas, you know, and I love the way he filmed that. It was so bizarre. I'd had no idea he was going to do that. He was going to burn everything out like that, and it was just remarkable. I mean, it's a strange piece of film, but it's quite beautiful in its own way. I remember being very proud of the whole Hunky Dory album. Actually, I thought, well, this is really good. This is a good album. And you know something? I think the other interesting thing about that album, including that song, is that again, they felt great to play on stage. They were such easy songs to work on stage. It was really a joy singing them. I enjoyed them, and I keep finding that I do go back to songs from that album to do on stage. Even now, things like Quicksand I've done, you know, Queen Bitch I've done, Andy Warhol even.
Andy Warhol looks a scream, hang him on my wall. Andy Warhol, silver screen, can't tell them apart at all. But her friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through her sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen.
Well, I think that my subject matter hasn't really changed over the years. That I'm still in a way writing Life on Mars all these years later, you know, it hasn't. And The Man Who Sold the World. I mean, the way that I present songs has changed a lot, and the style for each album has changed considerably. I'll often try new rhythms and new kinds of arrangements. It's like I want to keep writing about the same subject, but my approach, it's like I'm trying to get into it, like finding a different door each time I approach that same subject.
And it's about alienation then?
A lot of it is, yeah, one's interior kind of isolation as well, you know. It doesn't just mean one's social isolation, it can mean, you know, how you get in contact with your own feelings, you know, as well. It can be quite personal in that way.
I would not be so presumptuous as to try and put any meaning on it, because certainly David Bowie never has, as far as I know. It doesn't, I don't know what it means, but it means a hell of a lot to me. It's like a poem by Rimbaud, say. What does it mean? Well, intellectually, it's very hard to define. You can only say, I love it.
But the film is a sad thing more, 'cause I wrote it 10 times or more. It's about to be writ again.
There are so many things that probably all just came together and made it what it was. David had to write it and had to perform it correctly. Rick Wakeman had to play the piano correctly. Ronno had to do everything. Woody, Trevor. I had to do everything correctly. These things either happen or they don't. And this one sure as hell did.
Best-selling show is their life on
And of course the surprise is always, which a lot of people miss this part. And it carries on at the end. And there's a phone ringing.
It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair, but her mummy is yelling no, and her daddy has told her to go, but her friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through her sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a sad thing for she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools if they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the low man beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best-selling show. Is their life on Mars?